The real Three Idiots genius is starving himself, and your doctor might know why. There is a man sitting in the street of New Delhi right now. He has not eaten in days. He says he will not stop until the government listens or until he dies. His name is Sonam Wangchuk. And here is the part that should make you stop scrolling. The system he is fighting right now, it is the same system that trained your doctor. Think about this for a second. One in five immigrant doctors in America is from India. No one in 10, not one in 15, one in 5. 62,000 Indian doctors are working in American hospitals right now in your emergency room, in your ICU, doing your surgery. States like New Jersey, New York, and Florida, more than a third of their entire physician workforce are international medical graduates. And India sends more doctors to America than any other country on earth. These are not small numbers, these are the people keeping American healthcare alive. And the system that produces them is completely broken. That is what Sonam Wangchuk is starving himself over. Now, what is this man? Because the resume is genuinely insane. He grew up in Ladakh, a remote Himalayan desert on the border of India, China, and Pakistan. No schools in his village, did not step into a classroom until he was 9 years old. Kids called him dumb, he could not even speak their language. That same kid got an engineering degree, studied architecture in France, then went back to his mountains and invented something no engineer had ever done before: the ice stupa. Artificial glaciers shaped like Buddhist monuments that capture wasted winter water and slowly release it in spring. Exactly that farmers are trying in thrust. His first prototype stores 150,000 liters of water in a desert at 11,000 feet altitude. Rolex gave him their Enterprise Award in 2016. Asia gave him the Roman Magsaysay Award in 2018. Think of it as India's Nobel Prize. Time, BBC, Al Jazeera all covered him, and here is the one you already know. The character Phonsu Kwanglu in Bollywood's biggest movie ever, Three Idiots. The genius inventor who escaped a broken school system and goes back to the mountain to help poor villages. That character was inspired by this man. India called him a national hero. So what happened? Two things, and both of them went matter to you directly. Number one, India's biggest medical entrance exam got rigged. The NEET exam. This is how India decides who gets into medical school. Millions of students, future doctors, grind for 3, 4, sometimes 5 years of their life for one shot at this test. The paper leaked, answer keys were sold to wealthy students before exam day. Think about what that actually means. The doctors who might one day treat you in an American hospital, maybe they studied honestly for 5 years and got cheated out of their sheet. Maybe someone brought their way in. Nobody was held accountable, no resignations. The government just moved on. Wangchuk said, cannot stay silent about this. In 2019, the Indian government made massive promises to Ladakh, statehood rights, constitutional protection for the indigenous tribal people who make up over 90% of the population. 6 years later, nothing. He marched, he protested, he was detained at Delhi border when he tries to walk to the capital. He went on hunger strike 5 times. Each time the government promised to act, each time they walked away. Now it is the sixth time, and he said something this week that I cannot get out my heart. Now it is the sixth time, and he said something this week that I cannot get out of my head. He said, my first hunger strike was 1 week, that 2 week, then three. This time at 6 weeks with no food, death is more likely than survival. He is not performing, he is not doing this for followers. This man means it. So why should you care? Here is the direct line from his hunger strike to your life. The need corruption is not just an Indian problem, it is a pipeline problem. American does not produce enough doctors. Everyone knows this. The shortage is real and this is getting worse. We rely on Indian doctors to fill that gap in rural hospitals, in undeserved communities, in ICUs. Nobody else wants to staff. If India's medical education system stay corrupt, if he brightest student keep getting cheated out by paper league and money, the quality of that pipeline drops. That eventually shows up in American hospitals. Then there is the China angle. Ladakh, Wangchuk's home, shares a direct border with China. American needs India strong and stable as counterweight to Beijing's expansions. When India's own border people feel abandoned and betrayed by their government, that is a crack, and China will absolutely use it. And finally, this is a democracy test. India is the world's largest democracy. American calls itself democracy's defender. When a man who won Asia's Nobel Prize get arrested for sitting peacefully and asking for rights, and protesters in his region get shot dead by police, America has to decide what those words actually mean. Sonam Wangchuk did not want to be a protest leader. He wanted to build glaciers and fix school. He said it himself, I never thought I would have to do this again, but I had no other choice. Gandhi used hunger strike. Martin Luther King studied Gandhi. Wangchuk has studied both. This is the oldest form of peaceful resistance in world. A man saying, I will not suffer publicly until you are too embarrassed to look away. The question is 2016 is whether the cameras stay on long enough, whether the world pays attention before it is too late. You just did. Subscribe to the Currentics. We cover the global stories that American news skips. And drop a comment. The next time you see an Indian doctor is an American hospital, what are you going to think about? See you in next one. Thank you.